Hello, you are building something incredible, right? A thriving business, a fulfilling life, and a legacy that really matters to you. But here's something most high achievers don't realize. Some of the biggest drains on your energy aren't the things on your to-do list. They're actually the things that you're carrying emotionally. One of your things that is not yours to hold. We always think that we want to be able to be there for other people, but what we end up doing is we're carrying emotions that are not our own and we're letting them stick, right? This isn't just a conversation about self care today. It's about protecting one of your most valuable assets, your energy, because protecting your energy will allow you to optimize your time. Emotional overinvestment isn't just exhausting, it affects your ability to lead, to make decisions, and move forward with clarity and confidence. That's why today we're going to be uncovering the hidden ways emotional overinvestment quietly slows you down, how to recognize where it's happening in your life, and small but powerful shifts to protect your emotional bandwidth so that you can sustain success without burnout, even if burnout's not on your radar. If you've ever found yourself feeling drained, but you can't quite pinpoint why, if you've ever replayed conversations in your head or felt responsible for fixing things that really weren't yours to fix, this is definitely for you, because the energy leak that you don't see is the one keeping you from moving forward with the clarity, focus, and the ease that you desire. For those of you who are new to my world, my name is Leslie Cadet, and I'm a self-care strategist for high-achieving women, coaches, consultants, and wellness leaders who are building their businesses and impact, but don't want to do it at the cost of their energy, alignment, and well-being. I help women just like you optimize your time, energy, and focus in a way that actually works for how you think, create, and lead. Because let's face it, traditional self care and time management strategies really weren't designed with us in mind, those high achieving people, right? They weren't built for high level decision making, emotional bandwidth, and the mental load that you carry. And for me, I don't want to talk to you about the surface level self care strategies of mani pedis, massages, getting your hair done, buying yourself something nice, going on a trip of a lifetime. Those are all great because they're you rewarding yourself for something, right? What I do is I help you with the foundational self care pieces like time and energy management, emotional resilience, self alignment, personal boundaries around your time and energy, burnout prevention, things like that, so that you're functioning at your best, because it's the foundational pieces that support you so that you have the clarity, the focus, and the needed energy to navigate your day to day the best that you can. So today we're going to talk about how to protect your energy so that you can avoid emotional overinvestment and so that every ounce of your emotional bandwidth is working for you, not against you. So let's begin with the hidden cost of emotional overinvestment, what it is and why it matters. Your energy is one of your most valuable assets. And just like financial capital, where and how you invest it determines your return. But here's the problem: not all energy investments are created equal. Emotional overinvestment isn't just about caring too much about others, especially when that leaves little energy for yourself. It also shows up when you pour your mental and emotional energy into things that don't actually move you forward or bring meaningful returns. And the tricky part is it's sneaky. It doesn't look like burnout at first. It looks a lot like overanalyzing conversations and decisions, or micromanaging tasks or people instead of trusting systems that you've put in place, or absorbing other people's emotions and making them your own, or even over personalizing feedback, setbacks, or challenges. And the more this happens, the less bandwidth you have for the decisions that actually move your business and life forward in the direction that you want to go. So let's put this into perspective. You're a CEO, you're making investment decisions in your business daily. You wouldn't pour your time, money, or resources into something that isn't aligned with your long term vision for your business, right? Of course not. You'd be strategic. You'd look at the potential return. You'd make sure every investment was working for you, not against you. But emotionally, you might be doing the exact opposite every single day. You could be giving away high value energy to worry, to doubt, or even conflicts that really don't serve your next level. You could be spending mental bandwidth revisiting conversations that you can't change. You could be left feeling drained by situations that aren't actually yours to fix. And here's what happens over time. This silent drain, it compounds. It doesn't just leave you tired. It can create mental fatigue where your brain is constantly processing and overloading, making it harder for you to focus on high level strategic thinking. And instead of seeing the bigger picture, you feel mentally cluttered and reactive. It can create decision fatigue where even small choices feel exhausting. And so instead of making fast, confident, high impact decisions, you find yourself second guessing yourself, over analyzing everything, or delaying key moves. And if you lead a team, your leadership clarity could start to waver. Your ability to make bold strategic moves could become diluted. Your decision making edge could become blurred and slowing your momentum. You could possibly even start operating from reaction mode rather than intention, being proactive. And your executive decision making could become less sharp and more draining. And last but not least, it can create a loss of clarity, leaving you feeling stuck in busy work instead of executing with precision. The more emotional energy leaks into things that don't serve you, the harder it becomes to stay aligned with your vision and momentum. So, here's a new way to think about it. Your emotional energy is capital. So, are you investing it wisely in things that create clarity, progress, and momentum? Or are you unknowingly spending it on things that drain your reserves without a return? Because here is the truth, your energy is finite, just like time, right? You only get so much of it every day. And every ounce of your energy that you spend on things that don't move you forward is energy you no longer have for the things that do. So the question isn't just where is my energy going? It's is it working for me and is it work or is it working against me? So let that sink in again for a moment, because is your energy going to the place where you want it to work for you? Or is your energy being expended on things that really don't move you forward, that keep you stuck in the now of trying to put out a lot of fires that maybe are not yours, or conversations that you can't change, but you keep revisiting them in your head? Is your energy where you're spending it helping you, or is it keeping you from moving forward? And to break it down even further, ask yourself, where exactly is your energy leaking? And how can you start reclaiming it so that you can start optimizing your energy and your time, because they work hand in hand. Now, I do want to tell you there is good news. I know, because I've given you a lot of the bad news, but there is good news. And that is small shifts in where you focus your emotional energy can really make a massive difference in how you feel, how you lead, and how you create. So let's move into something really eye-opening. Where exactly is your energy leaking? That's the question, right? We've talked about the cost of emotional overinvestment, but how do you actually pinpoint where it's happening? Well, let's do a quick self-audit to find out right now. I'm going to ask you some questions and see which ones hit home for you. First, let's talk about this first question. Do you feel emotionally exhausted, but you can't pinpoint why? Like, for example, you get to the end of the day, you feel drained, but when you look back, you can't quite figure out what actually took your energy. Nothing huge happened, yet you feel depleted. Or maybe you're observing other people's stress or emotions and you're making them your own, like a friend or a client or a team member's having a rough day, and suddenly you feel off. Their stress, their frustration, their anxiety lingers with you even after the conversation is over, about taking on other people's emotions as your own. Or do you catch yourself over explaining, over apologizing, or even overextending in ways that don't align with your priorities? You say yes to something you didn't want to do, and now you're spending energy justifying why. Or you send an email and you feel the need to explain yourself again, even though nobody's asked for extra information. No one's asking for extra details. So this is the second guessing piece of it, right? Are you mentally revisiting conversations, situations, or outcomes that you can't change? It's already happened, but you're replaying that awkward conversation from 3 days ago again, analyzing what you should have said differently, or you're still thinking about an outcome that's already decided, wishing you could go back and change it. And here's the last question. Do you feel like you're carrying invisible emotional weight that's slowing you down? You wake up already feeling heavy, like you're carrying responsibilities that aren't truly yours. Maybe it's the pressure to always be on, to always have the right answer, to manage expectations, or to keep everything running smoothly. So, did any of these examples hit home? And are you starting to realize that maybe you might be carrying energy leaks that you didn't even see before? You see, overinvesting in things that you can't control doesn't just drain you, it leads to decision fatigue, boundary burnout, and a loss of focus on what actually moves you forward. So, I'm going to give you another example. Imagine that you're running a successful coaching business. You're a coach. You're bringing in consistent revenue. You're enrolling new clients on a consistent basis, and you're delivering incredible value. But behind the scenes, you're paying for high-end software you rarely use. You're investing in marketing strategies that don't align with your brand, and you're spending hours every week on tasks that could be streamlined or delegated. So at the end of the month, you look at your financials and you realize that while your business is doing well, like you, as I said, you are getting that visibility, you're getting new clients all the time. But a big chunk of your resources, which is your time, your money, and your mental energy, are all tied up in things that aren't actually moving the needle forward. Now, that can be frustrating, right? In reality, you wouldn't do that with your business finances. You wouldn't spend all your revenue on unnecessary expenses. You'd allocate your funds strategically to maximize returns, right? So, why would you do that with your emotional energy? Meaning, why would you spend all your emotional energy on things that drain you? Look at it this way. If you're not budgeting your energy wisely, you'll always feel like there's not enough of it to go around. The key is using your energy in ways that create real impact without unnecessary drain. Just like you wouldn't make financial investments without knowing the ROI, or at least having some idea of what the potential ROI would be. Why would you spend emotional energy without knowing if it's actually helping you, right? Helping you move forward, helping your relationships. So I want you to take a moment and ask yourself, where do you think your biggest emotional energy leaks are happening to you right now? And make sure you write it down and really take some time to reflect on this, because awareness is the first step in reclaiming your energy. Okay, now that you're starting to see where your emotional energy might be leaking, the next step is learning how to protect it, because awareness alone won't change anything. How you manage your energy from here is what creates real impact. This isn't about withdrawing or caring less. It's about being more intentional with where your emotional bandwidth goes. So let's talk about a strategy that can help you shift from emotional overinvestment to emotional optimization, to help you move from feeling drained to leading with clarity, energy, and confidence. Your energy, again, is one of your greatest, not only your greatest assets, but it's one of your greatest leadership assets, but only if you use it strategically. Think about the most successful CEOs and leaders. They don't waste their time or energy on things that don't serve the bigger vision, right? They delegate instead of micromanaging. They prioritize what moves the needle instead of getting stuck in busy work. They protect their mental space so they can make high impact decisions without unnecessary emotional drain. And that's exactly what you need to do when it comes to your emotional energy. So before you engage, react, or invest your emotional energy into something, it's going to take time, obviously, because it's a learned behavior, but it's really about pausing and asking yourself some questions around what's happening to you in the moment. Questions like, is this mine to carry? Or am I absorbing someone else's emotional load? For example, like a client or a team member or a friend is having a tough time. Are you supporting them, or are you carrying their emotions as your own, right? Allowing their emotions to stick. Are you actually taking responsibility for things that really are not actually yours to fix, right? Is the investment of emotional energy giving you clarity or taking it away? Is it helping you move forward, or is it pulling you into overwhelm or overthinking and self-doubt? Like you start to really doubt yourself. Are you spending your energy on something that's really outside of your control? A lot of the time we think that we want to control everything, but we can't control the external. We can only control ourselves, how we respond to things. With the highest, and this is a question I want you to think about as well, because I think it's important. Would the highest version of yourself be spending energy on that thing, whatever that is, right? Think about it. If you were operating fully in your power, would it even be a focus? Would it even derail you? Would it have you second guessing? Would it have you taking on other people's emotions as your own, as your responsibility? Is this something your future self would regret giving so much energy to? Is another, question to think about. These questions can act as filters because they can help you protect your bandwidth before your energy is spent on things that deplete you. And one more thing, your emotional boundaries aren't just personal, they're also leadership boundaries, because high level leaders, they don't let distractions, unnecessary obligations, or emotional noise pull them off track. Instead, they create structures that reinforce trust, autonomy, and focus, right? And so instead of micromanaging every client interaction or their team's decision, they set clear expectations and systems that support their leadership role, right? This prevents them from spending unnecessary emotional energy where it's not needed. If you constantly find yourself justifying or over explaining decisions, ask yourself, do I really need to explain this, or am I seeking external validation for something I already know is right? When you start operating from a place of clear emotional boundaries, you free up more of your energy to for those bigger decisions, for greater impact, and a deeper sense of alignment. Your emotional bandwidth is a business asset, so it's important for you to start managing it like one. So now let's wrap this all up by talking about how to integrate these shifts into your daily routine. So understanding emotional overinvestment is one thing. Actually implementing change is where the real transformation happens, right? So how do you take what you've learned and apply it to your day-to-day life in a way that sticks? I want to show you how. First, you want to start with awareness and ask yourself questions to gauge your emotional thermometer. So maybe each morning, this is what I suggest for you, each morning, take a moment to check in with yourself before you dive into your day. Ask what's currently taking up the most space in my mind. Where am I already spending emotional energy today? Do those things align with what truly matters and is moving the needle forward, right? Really important. Understanding like where your focus goes, right? Because the saying is, where your focus goes, your energy flows, right? Or where your energy flows, your focus is going. However that saying goes. I probably butchered it, but you get the gist of it, right? So throughout the day, pause and reflect before reacting, before overthinking or absorbing stress that isn't yours. And when you make this a habit, you'll start seeing yourself catching energy leaks before they drain you. Now, the second one is create CEO level emotional boundaries. Yes, you heard me right. If you find yourself mentally replaying conversations or feeling responsible for how others feel, set a clear internal boundary. Instead, try saying things like, I can be supportive without carrying this. Or you can even follow up with, their emotions are not my responsibility to fix. Because again, we can't control how other people are. We can't control how people feel, how they think. We can only control our reactions, how we show up in the world. So if this is something where you find yourself mentally replaying conversations over, and you feel responsible for how other people feel, and of course there has to be grace and kindness and compassion in how we speak to each other. But again, it's being able to recognize that you do not have to carry other people's emotions as your own, their burdens as your own. Yes, you can be there to be supportive, but it's also making sure that you're protecting your time, your energy, so you show up in this space, but it's not taking it on as your own. If you struggle with over explaining or over apologizing, practice pausing before responding. And ask yourself, does this response serve me, or am I seeking reassurance? Because this could be something that could be where you don't feel confident in your response to someone, or maybe this person has made you feel, you felt that this person's reactions to you have made you feel a certain way. And so maybe you've now found yourself in this type of way of over explaining what you're trying to say, or over apologizing for something that's already been kind of looked at, been there, done that, moved on. But instead, we keep ourselves stuck in that loop, right? So asking if it serves you, or if you're seeking reassurance, can give you that awareness. If your calendar is packed with things that don't serve your energy, set a firm boundary around your time. Really important. Consider adding non-negotiable focus time where you're unavailable for distractions. And to go a step further, if you're in a place where there are other people around you, make sure that they know that your time is uninterrupted time so that they don't disturb you. The key here isn't saying no to everything, because I want you to understand that it's really about saying yes to what actually moves you forward, and learning to know like where you optimize not only your time but your energy as well. Equally important. Okay. Now the third one is build emotional recovery time into your schedule. I think this is really important because even the most aligned high impact leaders experience energy drain. The difference is they recover intentionally, right? They set intentional time aside for them to reset, to recharge, right? So have micro resets throughout your day. If you've just had an emotionally intense conversation, as an example, or a challenging decision that you had to make, don't just jump straight into the next task. Instead, give yourself time, like maybe 2 to 5 minutes to breathe, to be in the moment, to breathe, to reset and recalibrate before you move on. Add in daily reflection time for energy tracking. At the end of each day, you could ask yourself, where did my energy go today? Was it aligned with what matters to me? And then if anything needs to be changed, you can see where you might want to make a small adjustment for the next day based on what you learned from that day's experiences. Know when to walk away. This is important. If something continuously drains your energy without return, right? Reevaluate if it belongs in your life or your business. And that includes people. I know it's a hard thing to say, but maybe it's not so much that you're shutting someone out, but it's maybe giving them a structure around your conversations. As an example, you might have a friend, colleague, someone that you know that constantly is on the same problem over and over again. They call you about the same problem. You've talked about it till you feel like you're blue in the face. They don't seem to have that ability to want to move on. At least it feels that way to you. And so instead of you getting dragged into maybe another 30-minute to an hour conversation, going over the same thing that you thought was resolved all the many times before, start putting in some boundaries around the time and just say, hey, right now, I notice that we're talking about the same thing again. I don't feel like we are making any headway right at this moment. I think it'd be better if we table it for another time, just to see if maybe we can come up with solutions for the next time that we talk about it, because I really, truly do want you to be able to move forward and not have this, hanging over your head forever. Okay, something like that. The takeaway here is that your emotional energy is an asset, so it's really important that you use it wisely. Again, high-level success doesn't come from doing more. It comes from protecting what fuels you. By implementing small, intentional shifts in how you invest your emotional energy, the potential is that you'll start experiencing more clarity in your decision-making, less emotional exhaustion at the end of your day, and a greater sense of control over where your energy is going. So now let's take action. This is where I would love for you to participate. So what's one shift that you're committing to this week to protect your emotional energy? I'd love you drop it in the comments and let me know, because I'd really love to know what you've decided on. And if this conversation got you thinking about where your energy is going and you want to know how you can make the most of it, because maybe there are energy drains and you're not really certain of what you could do, let's chat. I offer complimentary wellness strategy sessions, which are where we take a deeper look at how you're managing your time and your energy so that you can move through your days with more clarity and ease. And we talk about that. And there's no pressure. It's just a conversation to explore what's working, what's not, what small shifts could make the biggest difference for you. It's not a sales call. However, I will right now be open and transparent with you that if I feel that it is something that might be of interest to you, I will mention my program. I will let you know that I have a 8-week program and give you a little bit of an overview. And if you're interested to learn more, we can go from there. But again, this is really about you. It's about helping you find ways to help you have more quality of life. Again, remember, emotional energy, it's not unlimited. It's a resource that we have, we tap into, we drain it, we have to rebuild it. So it's really important that we use it wisely. So the more intentional you are with where you invest your energy, the greater your clarity, your confidence, and your alignment has the potential to be. Thanks again for watching today. Again, drop in the comments. I'd love to know what you're committing to, and let's start a conversation. I'd love to know what you're committing to. And again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.